Hello everyone and welcome to my podcast. Today we have an amazing guest, Mr. Jory Joel. Cheers.
Cheers, bro. Thank you for having me. Everyone started panicking, so there was a wellness centre in the area. It's still open now. It's a great place if anyone's got aches and pains in north of England anyway. So Northern Ireland, they come see me. Any types of aches and pains then? Say for example, you haven't run in a while or something, and you get out and you go and you run 10 miles the next day, and you ring someone and go, oh, my knee hurts.
Yeah.
Of course your knee hurts, you haven't ran flipping 10 miles in
Normal.
ever.
Yeah.
You know, so what your body's saying is, let's not run 10 miles tomorrow. Let's take it easy.
Yeah. The Guinness Open. Are you finished that?
Yeah, it was just like a tonic
Finished.
water.
I did finish it.
Yeah.
Making sure he finished
It was too
that.
easy.
You know, you get people who talk shit and say they finished the drink and there's a bit at the bottom. That was finished.
You're like, here, get him another.
When I helped him with video, I seen how much he progressed, one as a human being and two as a businessman. And when I watched that story unfold, I went, wait a fucking second here. Anybody can do anything they want. The only thing they need is one, an opportunity, and two, a burning desire.
That's the thing that a lot of men do emotionally. It's trying to hide away, and then if you bury those emotions, they will come out. They'll come back to bite you.
Yeah.
It's almost like Pandora's box in that type of way.
Yeah.
So you have to just. I've only realized this recently. If you're feeling a certain feeling or emotion, you have to address it there and then.
Yeah.
You have to observe it, accept it, and figure out, why am I feeling like this?
This podcast is going to be based around me bringing interesting individuals into, at the moment, my home and interviewing them and hopefully giving you some information and some great guidance from these amazing people. I myself am a business owner. I've owned multiple different businesses, but my business at the moment is Tiernan Media. We are a full-scale digital marketing agency, and we're just going to jump right into it.
Lovely. I've
Thanks,
never been
Darren.
described as an amazing guest before.
Well, you are an amazing guest.
Usually
You are an
it's,
amazing guest.
fuck, look who it is. He's gonna start talking about them ankles and them hips again, you know?
Right, well, we got a couple of drinks here, so we're gonna crack these. Actually, I'm not gonna go for that. Do you wanna have one of these?
White Claw.
White Claw. So these are American.
Gross.
They're kind of like
Gross.
flavored water. So we'll give
Sure,
it a shot.
everything American's watered down, isn't it? Bud Light, anything.
I don't like Bud Light.
So you're forcing me to drink this
Yes.
on the show. You're not sponsored by White Claw or
Not
anything, are you?
sponsored. Not
So,
sponsored by Guinness. Not sponsored by White Claw.
But if Guinness, if you want to send me some extra stout, I would really appreciate that. Thank you very much in advance.
Right, go ahead, crack it open.
Cool.
And we'll taste test it.
I actually like mango too. I love mango.
I'm on
Dried
raspberry. I
mango.
haven't tried raspberry. Cheers.
Cheers, bro. Thank you for having me. We sniff test first, you know.
Lovely. Lovely, 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 lovely. So
It's like a tonic water.
it is.
Wouldn't call it mango.
But it goes down very easily, which is dangerous. Couple of these for the pre-drinks and you're going, oh shit, it's went to my head.
And it's a seltzer, not like I thought a seltzer, like if someone says I'm having an after seltzer, is that not like an electrolyte drink to help with a hangover?
No idea.
I don't know. I've heard that somewhere
No
before.
idea. That sounds posh to me.
Yeah,
I'm not posh.
heard that from a cousin. He's well travelled.
Right, okay, so everyone knows me and Jory have known each other for many, many years, and a bit of a backstory here. We first met when we were like, what, 3 or something?
When you lived next to me in
Yeah.
Soundlands Drive, it could have. I think we were both newborns. I
Right.
don't know when your mum moved in, what the timeline was like, but we lived next door to each other on that Soundlands Drive.
Right, so we lived next door to each other when we were both babies. And now, 27 years later, he is now my next door neighbour again. And I didn't even know that. When I took this house,
Strange.
I didn't even know he was next door because I'd never seen Jory's house. So it was super like, whoa, crazy turn of events. But me and Jory have known each other for many years. We were in the same form class in school. I went through all of high school together, and then Jory stayed on at school. I didn't. I went to technical college and done something that he hated for 2 years, and then some other stuff that he hated for a couple of years. And Jory went on to university and has started his business based off of the degree that he got. So just tell people a bit about yourself and what you do now. And
Yeah, perfect. So I never planned to end up here working with the public. It was never something I imagined, you know. I always just started off with really bad advice over injuries, because I always trained whenever I was going for school, played a lot of rugby. hurt my shoulder loads, hurt my big toe,
Mm-hmm.
and I always got terrible advice.
Yeah.
Oh, what's up with you? You're injured. Go to the doctors. Give you naproxen. Do this exercise. Do this terrible stretch. And I was like, this is terrible. How am I meant to rehab anything if I can't get good advice anywhere? So I got inspired. I was like, I want to learn a bit more about physiology, about what's actually going on with these pathologies. Why is the body hurting? What can we do to make it better, more robust, increase the strength and resilience of our structures? So I was like, I have to do something in my life here.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to do something that I actually enjoy as well. And I was a little bit obsessed and passionate with that. So I was like, right, we'll go to university across the water, study sports rehabilitation, and just dive headfirst in and see what happens. A couple of years later, ended up coming back to Northern Ireland post-COVID, started up my own business, Biomech Rehabilitation. It wasn't meant to be Biomech Rehabilitation. I was meant to go on and do other things and leave Biomech Rehabilitation behind, because I initially started it in the summertime on my breaks for university, just to get a couple of quid, just to do like the odd sports massage while I was learning, to sort of help my mates through their aches and pains. Was renting wee spaces down in local gyms and stuff, and I was going to leave that behind. But then I just kept going, and then Biomech Rehabilitation just became the sole business end of things, the sole purpose, the vision. It just stayed, and I was like, actually, I'm kind of passionate about this.
Became kind of like your baby.
Yeah, it did. It became a wee baby, because I always thought, I want to work in a big sports team, or I want to work in this fancy clinic, and I want to work with high-end performers. But then I worked with a few high-end performers, like on my placements. I worked with a lot of high-end triathletes, a lot of high-end marathon runners, and I was like, it's harder to impress them than it is the general public. And they get the best of the best. They get the best strength and conditioning coaches, the best advice. I can only help them so much. But a wee regular guy who needs to do his 9 to 5, to feed his family, to do the sports and the hobbies that he actually enjoys, I can help him a lot more, because I can keep him pain free. I can keep him earning money, going to do his job. I can keep him, enjoying his hobbies and all the things that he likes to do. Yeah. So it's a bit of a long, sorry to be like a long sort of called a bit of a
No, it's all good.
Yeah, but that's kind of how I ended up with the Biomech Rehabilitation side of things.
Well, obviously, before Biomech, you worked for, what was that company you worked for? That's where you kind of learned, like, wait a second, this makes money. Because you were seeing money changing hands every day being in there. You done your placement there, didn't you? Oh, it's that my first graduate job. Was it your graduate job? Was it the health, the wellness centre, Reset? Yeah, Reset. Yeah, I was in there initially. I got that job even before I finished my dissertation. Because that was the biggest worry. Was like, here, I've just studied for 3 years now. Spent all this money, spent all this time. Yeah. I finished in 6 months. What am I going to work as? And that everyone started panicking. So there was a wellness centre in the area. It's still open now. It's a great place if anyone's got aches and pains in north of England anyway. So Northern Ireland, come see me. But I started working there, and I worked there just before my dissertation finished, and then stayed there for a good year in Lancaster once I was finishing my degree and stuff. Yeah. And I wasn't really effective there. They just had me doing basically MOTs, and I wasn't able to expand and be able to, because I really enjoyed the research side of things. I enjoyed strength and conditioning, helping people through early stage, mid stage, the late stage. I enjoyed that side of things, but I wasn't getting that at Reset. I was maybe seeing people once every couple of weeks. Yeah. And that was it. What was it you were saying to me about the bad kind of the bad advice people receive when it comes, like, you don't believe in certain misconceptions. Yeah, misconceptions. Like, oh, the bone cracking. You're you're not a fan of it. You think that it's just for social media, and the actual long-term benefits are not there. It's for social and a quick release of gas. Is that what you said to me, or correct me? Probably something along those lines. Yeah, there's a lot of misconceptions out there whenever it comes to health, when it comes to injuries, pathology. It's absolutely crazy, some of the stuff you hear, and we're always bombarded now with so much information. Yep. Like, what do you do, for example, if you get an injury? Where do you go? What do you do? You try and ring the doctors, but you'll have to wait for fucking 4 days and get a camel ride to get there, because it's impossible. You got a camel? You need an insider in the GPs these days, because there's 100 different people all ringing. So I actually haven't been to the doctors in years for that exact reason. Yeah. But if you get an injury, I guess go to you. It's a good starting point. It depends, obviously, doesn't it? Because if it's a bone injury, that you need to go to a GP. But if
Yeah.
it's like around muscle, you're
Yeah.
able to be like, right, come in. And if
Yeah.
it's worse, if it's something that needs some serious attention, you're like, go see your GP.
Yeah. Well, where I was trying to lead us to that is like, if you go to the doctors, you tell them maybe about this problem that you're having, and they're great at what they do. Don't get me wrong; their scope of practice is a lot larger than mine.
Yeah.
But if they only have 10 minutes with you, what's your problem? I'm in pain, doctor. How can I solve that problem? Here's some naproxen or painkillers, whatever. So on their end, they've met your expectations, and then what do you do from there? Then maybe they refer you to NHS physio if you're lucky in 2 years' time.
Yeah.
And then you go, you get your 4 exercises.
Yeah.
And by then you've in your head you're struggling with chronic pain for 2 years.
Yeah.
So it's a tough situation to be in, really.
I mean, I feel like almost everything is quick to be given a drug.
Yeah.
So you got something wrong with you, go to the doctors, give you a drug.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sometimes you don't need a drug, especially in your world where it's good stretching and good mobility can really help a lot of problems around aches and pains to do with. Now you know more about this than I do, but I just think that a lot of things can be fixed by one exercise, and then in your world like stretching and different mobility training and understand things that way.
Yeah, and you can kind of simplify it as well. Back to the bone cracking and stuff, and where you go if you're in pain. It's like the painkillers and the bone cracking to me, the mobilizations, whatever you want to call it, they're kind of like a short-term fix. They're putting plaster over, say, a crack in the wall or something. Polyfilling some plaster. Go over the top of it.
And that'll fall out at
paint
some
that,
stage.
no one will see that there for a wee while. Those things are quite short-lived, and unluckily for some people, that's their first protocol, and then in a couple of weeks' time, then the aches and pains will come back. So those there short-term things and the misconceptions, they're all out there, and people fall for it all the time.
I mean, I don't want to be that guy, but see, whenever I see people sell these miracle pills that get you skinny and stuff, I'm like, how do people still fall for this shit?
I know.
It's just, I think we always want the shortest, most painless route to, in your world, a happy and pain-free life.
Yeah.
So people will be like, I'll just drug myself up on painkillers, and then a year down the line, I try and go off them and realize they're hooked.
Yeah.
They're getting the sweats and they're thinking, oh, there's pain, and then they need to go wean themselves off painkillers.
It's tough as well. And what you said there actually kind of, light bulb goes off in my head there when you talk about pain in general, because people get really worried about pain. Yeah. And say you're going down that rabbit hole, because we've all been there. I don't know about you, but I've had loads of injuries in the day, everything from a big toe to knees, shoulders, ligament damage in my elbow. And your first thing that you do is you panic and you take painkillers, and you maybe go in a downward spiral where you're sitting on the sofa for a couple of days. You might turn to alcohol, you might turn to other numbing things. But what you need to understand as well is, I know pain's there and pain sucks and it feels terrible. If you've got 10 out of 10 back pain, you can't get up on the sofa, of course you're going to take a painkiller to make you feel a little bit better. But the thing is as well, pain is a message to your brain from your body. It's a threat detector, so it's telling you, right, okay, there's something going on here in our body. Once we start to desensitize that area and things start to ease up a wee bit, that's when we have to get to work. We have to listen to our bodies and then start to put that work in, so that our body starts to rehab, get stronger, build more confidence, build more tolerance, like that there. So that's kind of the problem with masking how you're feeling all the time and masking that pain. Yeah. And that can go, and then that goes into any types of aches and pains then. Say, for example, you haven't ran in a while or something, and you get out and you go and you run 10 miles the next day, and you ring someone and go, oh, my knee hurts. Yeah. Of course your knee hurts. You haven't ran flipping 10 miles in ever. Yeah. So what your body's saying is, let's not run 10 miles tomorrow. Let's take it easy. Yeah. Let's draw back, because the tendons and the collagen formation might take a little bit of a hit then. Yeah. So let's calm down.
So how did we used to function whenever? So there's obviously all these injuries these days. Even the likes of typing on your computer, you get repetitive strain injury. How did we used to survive in general as a species with all these injuries? Because I feel like your body is almost made to be super resilient.
It is.
So we're just being, in this day and age, a lot of fucking pansies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, get up, stretch, and go out and hunt that fucking boar. The village is dead.
Yeah, there's a couple. Yeah, I think there's a lot more at stake at that stage too, isn't it? You know, and I think if, say, maybe you haven't ate in 4 days,
Yeah.
and you see that wild boar,
Oh,
and
you're
then
running.
and then the adrenaline kicks in, and then you're going. Don't know how good their rehab or the physiotherapy was back in the hunter-gatherer days.
Here it was. They took a bit of the cocaine leaf or whatever they had,
Yeah.
chewed it till it felt better. And
Yeah, some cannabis or something. So anything, maybe they had like a local witch doctor or something
Yeah.
that maybe performed some.
But I mean, like a lot of the people who are injured these days do have sanitary jobs. Or is that the right word? Sedentary? Is that where they're quite
your like office jobs, you're mostly
office
sitting all the time,
jobs,
yeah.
or somewhere that you're not standing your feet all the time, and then all of a sudden you're going to the gym and then you rip your shoulder out and that you're fucked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they're not moving much anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Or I mean, someone who is moving a lot over a long period of time do end up having a bad back.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what do you do in that situation? But you must have people come to you all the time with bad backs. Bad backs must be up there with one of the biggest ones, no?
Yeah, lower back pain it's prevalent, so it is.
So what do you do for someone
Definitely.
who comes in with lower back pain?
The $1 million question. I would love to be like one of these people that goes to you. It's a lot sexier, you see the people like Ben Patrick on YouTube, or you see these influencers, or you see them really popular people on social media.
Mm-hmm.
This one stretch will fix your lower back pain.
Yeah.
See this strength exercise, forget about your lower back pain, this will sort it out. But those are generic, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
You're all individuals. We're all individuals, so if I have lower back pain, it'll be very different from your lower back pain. So what I like to do in Biomech Rehabilitation, this is where kind of the name all stems from as well, because it's like, I like to simplify it, biomechanics. So I like to take people through like a screening procedure where I'm looking at everything from like their sort of like their thoracic rotation, their hip flexion, their ankle mobility, and I will screen these and be like, okay, you might have sort of deficiencies in your hip flexion that could potentially affect in your low back. It may fix things, it may not, but we can start here because it's a problem-solving process.
Yeah.
With someone coming in immediately with acute back pain where they can't get off the sofa, you just got to desensitize the area.
So do you
calm everything down initially? So so sorry, go ahead.
No. You go ahead. What were you saying?
So it kind of works in like phases. It goes through like rehab phases. So like early stage is this desensitize, calm down, let the person know like what's going on. Try to educate them on a bit of why they might have got injured. Look at their natural history. Okay, you've had lower back pain a couple of years ago. You had these problems that you didn't necessarily fix. Oh, you were working on your garden last week.
Yeah.
You were lifting big heavy stones. You're maybe not used to that weighted flexion. So your body's flared up this week, but next week it'll start to get better. So that would kind of be the initial stage. And then the mid stage, you're kind of being like, right, okay, what's sensitive in your body? Maybe the QL muscles, maybe the rhomboids. Okay, let's start to introduce little loads to strengthen these areas back up.
Yeah.
I'm not like, it's not a miracle worker or anything. What I'm essentially am is just like a little bit of a guide.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to guide people like through the process.
Yeah.
And what you touched on earlier where you were saying the body's so amazing and resilient and back in the hunter-gatherer days, that's all I'm doing. Like I'm letting the body do most of the hard work.
Yep.
I'm just like, okay, here, try this and we'll fix this about your body. But your body adapts every single day to what you put it under. So it's going to be the one that's regenerating and helping you. So I just guide them along the process.
Yeah, because David Goggins actually said that whenever he used to train so much, when he used to train so much that his bones would actually shrink because they were contracting so much, and they would shrink and shrink and shrink. And essentially, for his size, his muscles weren't the right. They didn't cover the whole area, so he was getting very, very, very bad cramps and all this other stuff. So what he does now every single day is stretch. The first thing he does every single day and night is stretch so that his muscles can really keep up with the pain he's about to follow them through. So I guess if it's happening to a man like David Goggins who's obsessed that he needs to stretch and he needs to work on his flexibility and his mobility, but if a man like that needs to do it, a lot of other people need to do it.
We all could be doing with it. Yeah, stretching's a great one. You could talk all day about the mechanisms that stretching brings on. Literally, as soon as you start to stretch, it's a muscle contraction. It's an isometric contraction, but you ever stretch and you feel good instantly after it?
Yeah.
It just calms your nervous system down.
Yeah.
Calms everything down. And if you're calming your nervous system down, that's a great thing because the nervous system, your nerves are what sends the signal to your brain for that threat detection, for that pain. So if you can calm the whole system down just by stretching alone, that's perfect. And it might not fix everything, but it's a good place to start. So it is if you're able to get them good mechanisms of calming everything down and settling the nervous system down, if that kind of makes sense.
Yeah. So
crack open one of these Guinness anyway.
Get the Guinness open. Are you finished that?
Yeah. It was just like a tonic
water.
water. So
I did finish. Making sure he finished that.
Easy.
You know, you get people who talk shit and say they finished the drink, and there's a bit at the bottom. That was finished.
You're like, here, get him another.
That was finished.
No ball up there, but I'll have to use a little bit of leverage, bit of a movement arm, you know.
Party trick.
So, boom. Friend of mine taught me that at university.
Right. So, got a question for you here. Have you ever faced any challenges or obstacles while running your business, and how did you overcome them? Or how are you overcoming them? Or are they happening right now? Or
flip, they're happening right now.
They're happening right now.
Big time.
Go ahead, speak to us about it.
I think it's like, it's just one word: consistency. From people that are in pain, and they'll go and they'll see someone like myself, or they'll see someone. Initially, they'll make great results. Okay, I'm doing these exercises. I'm getting better. I'm getting stronger. We use example of like a CrossFit athlete, for example. I'm doing these strength exercises. I'm getting better.
Yeah.
And then things start to fall by the wayside. Life gets in the way. They don't maybe stay consistent with the drills. Pardon me.
Oh, good. I've done it before then.
Wow. It's very gaseous. But yeah, they're not staying consistent with their drills. And then they kind of get out of contact with you as well. So you don't maybe hear from them for a week or two like that there. So my problem is keeping people in touch and keeping people with me. Yeah. And like at the start, when I first left university, I was like, oh, that's just greedy. I just like, instead of, when chiropractors, for example, we're gonna fire shots anyway. Chiropractors, for example, they'll be like, you need to come see me every week for the next 6 months, and then you need to see me for the rest of your life. Yeah. I've never been that type of person that's been like, you need to come see me every single week for this X amount of months. Essentially, your job is to put yourself out of business. Yeah. You want people to be like, get all the information, get the training, and then go and do your own thing. And then go do your own thing. So you want to put yourself out of business is essentially what you're trying to do. Yeah, because I always say to them, what I'm going to do with you is give you tools so that you can take these on for the rest of your life. Yeah. And do these drills and stay strong and these ideas. So if you ever get another injury or that there flares up again in your shoulder, you can handle it yourself. Yeah. But the problem is like, if I don't see these people, I can't keep them right and guide them through the process, because the human brain it's crazy. You got all them biopsychosocial factors. So like you got the psychology of things. You may be sort of in your head, you're thinking that the injury is worse than it actually is. You're not getting better. You're not seeing progress. Yeah. But if I'm there guiding you through that process, I can show you, here you can lift 2 kg more than you did 6 weeks ago on that shoulder. So you are making progress. So don't give up. Yeah. So that's kind of my problem, is keeping people, like, because you need to keep them right. So you do. So could you not almost give them, I know you're saying chiropractors say you need to come back every week. Can you not give them like a plan? Like, now obviously budget constraints are for different people, but you can't think, in my opinion, this is your world. In my opinion, if they're essentially a patient, and if your doctor said, look, I need to see you next week, 9 times out of 10, you're going to show up. Yeah. So I think that just telling them, look, I need to see you bi-weekly, at least bi-weekly, right? And if not weekly, that you just tell them that. And if they don't turn up, they don't turn up. That's grand. But just let them know, look, we have 10, 12 weeks to do here. We'll get you in a good place. And then I'm going to give you a plan to move forward with. And if things flare up again, come back to me, we'll work on it. Yeah. Like, is that something that would solve that problem? 100%, yeah, 100%. Sometimes I'm almost feared of saying that because I'm trying to calm them down. You know what I mean? I'm trying to say, like, listen, you're not broken. Your back's not broken. Yeah. We will get you fixed. Yeah. So if I'm like, I need to see you for these next few sessions, I feel like freaking them out a wee bit in terms of like what they need. But it is true what you say. I just need to draw the line, but like, this is what you need. But do you worry that you saying to them, look, I need to see you for the next 3 months, they're going to say in their own head, he's trying to get money off me? That's it. See, that's a problem. Yeah, that's a big problem. Because you're not in that world. I know. You're in the world of helping people with their body. Yeah. And if that's how you see the best course of action,
You just need to
Yeah.
say it. If people say, "Oh, he's trying to get money off me," that's their prerogative.
No, so be it.
So be it.
Yeah.
Especially in Northern Ireland, where people are flipping cheap with everything. Like everything is cheap to the maximum. What's wrong with your back there, mate? Pack of potatoes in that back, mate. You'd be alright.
You'd be grand. What was it they used to do? The cold sponge. Or in secondary school, you ever get them blue paper towels?
The blue paper towels. They were magic. His throat slit. Get the paper towels.
Just slap that cold water on him.
Johnny, you alright? Well, hang on, lost him. The way I come back, it's alright.
I remember people fainting in assembly and all because it was too warm, and then just cold paper towels on top of them.
Honestly, the paper towels were out for everything, especially in primary school. Did you have it? What you went to a few different primary schools. What was it? Central.
I went there.
Central, St Nicholas's.
Oakfield.
Flip me, Jory.
Casey Lane Academy.
You were everywhere.
What other one was there? Really, is that 4? Mm-hmm. There's one more missing. Victoria.
Did you, what was the American one you went to? No, you were out of primary school then, or?
No, that was 4th grade. That was Casey Lane Academy.
Everywhere, man. I know. That's ridiculous how many schools you were at there.
I know.
But the thing that I want to ask there, does every one of them have hymns?
What do you mean?
Do you not have like the Friday hymns?
Oh, like we go and sing wee songs?
You go sing the songs, do you remember that?
Actually, yeah. Yeah, I could tell you flipping all sorts of stories because the schools that I went to in Carrickfergus most of them were like Presbyterian. And then the St. Nicholas, obviously St. Nicholas Primary School was more of a Catholic school. And then Casey Lane Academy, they didn't have hymns. They just had, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. You were like that at assembly, like giving it stacks.
Just sitting there in class, right kids, this is how you disassemble a 9mm clock.
That's the way, it was every morning because you started class at 8 a.m. because I remember thinking 8 a.m. this is far too early because we always start at 9 over here and we would be up doing the pledge allegiance to the flag every single morning.
So what time did school finish?
Can't remember. I just remember being pissed off that it started at 8.
Mom!
It's too early.
Back to Northern Ireland. It's too early.
I can't deal with this heat. This humidity is too much.
Oh, for goodness sake.
And everyone keeps complaining that I'm cussing them out, they would have said. Cussing them out.
Cussing them out is right. So obviously, me and you both come from working class families. We grew up with working class friends. And now me, you, and a few of our friends have all got our own businesses. What do you think makes us be the type of men that start businesses and start thinking for ourselves and thinking that we can make it in this world and we can get these things whenever there's so many people out there that are so scared to even do something like this? This would be their dream, but their biggest fear.
Yeah.
So what makes us different? What do you think makes us different? What do we get that these other people are not getting?
I think there's a couple of factors involved in that there. I think that no matter how much we struggled in terms of like financial, at times like I know that like we would have had milk and bread in the fridge. At times, we red sauce sandwich or whatever would have been on the go. And I think no matter what was going on in our lives, that our parents loved us and believed in us. Because I know personally that my mum would have always been like, listen, Jory, you can do whatever you want to do, no matter what it is. Yeah. And she would have been going through tough times, single parent, 3 kids. Yeah. Still, no matter what was happening, she would just tell me, listen, she'd always tell me I was very handsome. So you're very handsome, son. Don't let anyone tell you that you're not, and you can do anything that you want to do. So like from no age, I was like, this is a big world out here. I can do anything. And then from traveling to America and stuff too, I feel like that helped because we definitely seen a lot more of the world. Yeah. So I think like we'll have to give credit where credit's due. Our parents. The reason is at such a young age, because was your mum 17, 18? 17, 18. 17, 18 whenever she first had us. That's crazy to think of. Like they're basically young adults themselves trying to raise kids into the big bad world. Yeah. So I think that comes down generation by generation. And you always want to sort of progress a generation at a time, I think. Yeah. If you're doing it right, you want to pass on good values. You want to learn from your mistakes and pass on the good values. I also think like we're pretty determined as well as like individuals. Yeah. We've never been in a place where we've let other people sort of instill their ideas on us. Yeah. Because I know me and you get on well, but we have pretty different ideas about a lot of stuff, and we don't let that affect our relationship or anything. But we're not afraid to speak our minds, and if we have morals as a person or we have beliefs as a person, that's how we live our lives. That's how we hold ourselves.
Yeah.
And for you, it's being relentless and flipping almost like a crack addict when it comes to working hard, and you know, things like, I think those two factors definitely play a big part in it. I don't know. What about yourself? Do you think?
Well, me personally, I mean, so obviously I have my own business. You have your own business. We've got a mutual friend, William, has his own business. We've got a friend who's in Australia at the minute, has his own business.
Yeah.
Fish. Is there anybody else in our...
From school or
well, yeah, even if we go from school,
from our year,
John McGill, he's got hybrid at the minute.
Hybrid. That's like from that small group of like people in a random secondary school that didn't really,
who were fucking idiots. By
yeah. I was trying to sort of beat around the bush there.
We were fucking idiots.
Yeah.
Like so me personally, I feel like we almost saw it as a possibility, and because we saw it as a possibility, we just done it.
Yeah.
It was just done. For me personally, Harry Pressure started a barbering shop, and he gave me a book, Think and Grow Rich. Told me that he got given this opportunity. He took it with both hands. He had no money, and he had a barbering chair that he got given for free. A friend that he knew done him a bench so that he could put his stuff on and put a mirror on, which was £100. And he opened.
Wow. And
when he told me that, and I helped him with, and I knew videos because I wanted to be a YouTuber back then. When I helped him with video, I seen how much he progressed, one as a human being and two as a businessman. And when I watched that story unfold, I went, wait a fucking second here. Anybody can do anything they want. The only thing they need is one, an opportunity, and two, a burning desire.
Yeah.
And when he gave me that book and I read through that book,
Burning Desire, is that one of the chapters? No, Desire is one of the chapters, I think.
Yeah, but a burning desire is in the book. It's constantly mentioned in the book. A burning desire. You can't do anything without a burning desire.
Yeah.
So whatever it is, you need to go to bed thinking about it, wake up thinking about it, throughout your day you need to think about it. You need a burning desire for something. And whenever I saw that Napoleon Hill, who wrote that book, gave me guidance that if you have a burning desire for anything, no matter what it is, it's possible. And I remember, like I was saying earlier to you, whenever I had that small Clio and just started Nook Productions, I took a $5,000 loan. That's what paid for that Clio. Whenever I took that, and I was just like, this is possible.
Yeah.
This is, and I remember saying to you, saying to Willie, saying to Fish. I said to Fish for years, and he'll tell you himself. I said for him for years there'd be a PT. For years, and he would never believe in himself. And then he started, and he always does credit me for pushing him to get into that, to be fair to him. And I think that from seeing that it was possible, not to big myself up, I think that I was the first one in our friend group to make that jump, and everyone else was like, it's fucking possible. If Josh can do it. When we used to drink 2-litre bottles of cider at fucking 14 years of age, not having a clue about fucking anything in life. For us to go from I was the type of person, and you were the type of person that got sent out of class and made the way outside class to be all of a sudden a successful business owner. You know what I mean? Seeing that in someone who you used to think was a class clown, it almost changes your perception. Think, wait a second, this is possible. Yeah. Because we don't come from the kind of families that had that kind of success. You know what I mean? They didn't make their own money. Maybe some of them did. I'm not too sure about your family, but my family, none of us are self-employed.
Yeah, it's usually working for someone else.
Usually
someone else's dream.
Yeah.
There's a couple of things you touched on there that are pretty interesting. I think the Think and Grow Rich book is brilliant. It does open your mind to different things, and say maybe you're on that you're a little bit unsure about things. You know, you're kind of, you've got itchy feet. You're working this job, this 9-to-5 job. You've got itchy feet. You're like, fuck, I'm worth a wee bit more. Yeah. I want to do something. I want to wake up inspired in the morning. Yeah. I think having a good tribe around you, a good friends that are maybe thinking outside the box, and they're sticking themselves out their comfort zone. It doesn't just have to be business. It could be anything. They're putting themselves out of their comfort zone. And then you combine that and you read a couple of chapters of that book, you're going to be like, okay. Yeah, I mean, I can work for myself here. 100%. Yeah. You touched on it perfectly. Just having good vibes around you and thinking, right, I can do this. Yeah. And I mean, you're very much someone who is a very positive person. Never quite full. Is it? Right, okay. Take a wee second here just to fix this. Sweet. There's no memory card. Ugh. Technical glitches are going to happen.
They are going to happen. It's the very first one.
You never got out.
I can edit it out, but sure.
It's our cameraman Kurt.
Keeping the production rolling.
Yeah, he's our very own.
First time the job type of guy.
Did you fill he filled the memory card up himself with strange content last night? Why is that memory card filled, Kurt? What were you doing?
We got another one here. George is trying to kill us, by the way, because the heating's on right now.
Ah, it's toasty, isn't it?
George is trying to kill us, lad.
People behind the curtain, man, sweating like a rapist.
You can't say that.
That's right, you can edit out.
Oh. Guinness is delicious.
It's probably a good bit to finish on because you stop speaking there at like the right time.
Was that an hour?
Well, how long is it?
Well,
Couldn't have been.
It's not an hour yet.
No, it's not out yet. So how technical difficulties didn't think I would fill up that fast, to be honest with you. So, I apologise. I apologise to Jory, fucking first guest. He's getting the BS.
Don't know if I forgive you after this one.
Ah,
Pushed me too far now.
Write that down in the book. Not forgiven.
Right, there we go. We're going again. George is trying to kill us, by the way.
I'm losing a few points. That's why I dropped my cider sheet back. I want to eat up.
Yeah, quickly. Do you want to go grab that vodka?
Nah, man, it's alright. I'll get after.
I wouldn't mind it because I'm nearly done.
Well, vodka? What's straight?
Do you want a Guinness? No? You don't really need
I'll have a Guinness.
Have a Guinness.
You know what I mean? I'm on the podcast. I'll have a Guinness.
Yeah, just have a wee Guinness. It's a wee bit fizzier, this one, but you'll like it.
Absolutely.
It's kind of
Lancha.
chilled, so.
Right, okay. Sorry, where are we there?
Cheers, here.
Oh,
Do you want a Guinness?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm alright, man.
Give the top worker a Guinness.
I'll just what happened if they cool down over here, like.
He looks thirsty over there.
The man behind the camera is Mr. Curtis McHugh. You'll see him in the next episode of the podcast. He's helping out on the camera operator on this one with zero experience.
He's doing a great job.
That's how we do things around here. Zero experience.
That's it.
If you want to help out, just fire me an email, josh@turnthemedia.co.
I think he's on placement, is he? Is it?
He's on placement,
I'm
yeah.
trying to get this down like a man in arms.
I can't remember. We were talking about thinking Grow Rich book.
Yeah. All starting businesses.
Starting businesses, stuff like that there, yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever, going back to Think and Grow Rich, have you ever sort of practiced like the law of attraction yourself? Would you ever sort of write down something, envision yourself doing it, and then almost achieving that in a way?
So I'm going to tell you a story because I think it's super relevant, and I think it's something that's dwelling on me at the minute. So I was doing something called the Miracle Morning, and the Miracle Morning it takes the practices of the law of attraction into account. And every single morning, I woke up at 5:30 to 5:35 every single morning, right?
Sorry.
Came downstairs, done my morning gratitude, which is I'm happy and thankful for this house, happy and thankful for a healthy baby, happy and thankful for a bunch of things.
Yeah.
And once I've done that, I was like, right, well, I'm in a good place. After that, I would do affirmations, and it was, I'm a 7-figure-a-year man who's a family man, a happy man, and a highly success-driven individual. And when I told myself every single day I'm a 7-figure-a-year man, my mindset started to turn into, what does a 7-figure-a-year man do? And what does he demand? And when he speaks to people, what way does he speak to people? And whenever he gets spoken to by people, what way does he react? What's his body language? I started trying to become this person. And in that time frame, I done it every single morning. Now, I did drop off. I got a little bit sick. Not an excuse for anyone watching this. Don't be a pussy.
Oh, here we go.
Don't be a pussy like
Excuses.
me. The whole month of January, I done this every single day. Went to the gym in the morning, and then worked for 8 to 10 hours every single day, Sunday included, every single day. And in that month, I made more progress in my business and more personal development in that month than I've made in my entire life. I went from a business that was doing 3-ish K a month, 3-4K a month, to doing 10K in one single month. just because of that month.
Mhm.
So it just goes to show that if you do truly put that energy out there and say these things to yourself and put that attraction out there to the other people and be like, I am this person. I'm a 7-figure year man is what I was saying to myself. Other people pick up on that energy and the world molds itself to give you them opportunities. That's how I think of the law of attraction.
Yeah.
So I don't know about yourself. What way do you think about it?
No,
Or do you even practice it?
Yeah, very similar, very similar. Just going on what you said there, it's interesting because as you write this stuff down, for people that are maybe going to give this a go, it's like you're going to have them doubts.
Oh, 100%.
And you might not believe it the first time you write it down, or the first time you look in the mirror and you say it, but the more and more you do it, you will start to believe. And you can use this for injuries and rehab practice as well. You can, if you look at your body, you're going to the gym and thinking, oh, I have a bad back.
Yeah.
I have a bad elbow. If you keep saying that mentality and you keep saying that, you are what you think essentially.
Yeah.
So that there's going to cause problems. Instead of saying, oh, I have a bad back, I have an injured back, and going forward from there, you can successfully rehab it. But in terms of like my law of attraction, I would just use it in terms of like short-term goals. I would, write down the goal. I would, put a little bit of meditation music on, picture myself achieving the goal, try to almost feel those feelings of like gratitude and happiness that I've achieved this goal. Yeah. And sometimes I can give myself goosebumps. Sometimes, I don't. I'm just really thinking on it and focusing on it. Yeah. And going back to before I started university and all, I actually was going through my spare room the other day, because it's going to be the baby's room, the spare room. So I was pulling out my notebooks, and I actually wrote down in one of my first year uni book, I wrote down Jory Joe BSc. I put MSc in the side because I was planning to do a master's then, but we don't know what the future holds. And I was like, flip, that's my old notebook. So I was practicing law of attraction long before, like a couple of years, like even before I graduated and stuff. So that's kind of how I like to do it, have that sort of positive visualization. And I would do that before lots of things, even when I was back in school playing rugby and stuff. I would always visualize myself making good tackles, or if I had a presentation coming up in uni, I would picture myself being at the front, standing with confidence, and almost playing the scenario out in my head before it happened. Yeah. And I do that sometimes even before like going to work or going to maybe like a jiu-jitsu class. I picture myself in work, getting on with my next client, solving their problems, getting on well with them, getting a clear plan out of pain. Picture myself in jiu-jitsu class making these cool moves, and it doesn't always go that way, but you can always visualize it, and that's kind of how it works for me anyway. Yeah, so whenever you're saying there about BSc, it takes me back to a quote that I saw, and it was, if the person who you were 5 years ago could see you now, would they be proud? That's a tough one. It's a tough one. For me, it's a yes. For sure. For me, 5 years ago, like I just started Nook Productions, which was a video production company. Was that only 5 years ago? It was about, let's say it was like 2017. So when's that? Like, let me do a math here. That's 6 years ago. Yeah, so 6 years ago. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. So not 5, 6, nearly 7. If that guy was looking at you now, he'd be like, don't know how you've done it, mate. Fair play. Literally. So based on my own experience, just like whenever I went and spoke to my mum and dad about starting Nook Productions, for example, they were like, "Oh, what are you talking about? You're like nuts. you're giving up a good job and this and that." And I was working in the council at the time, and they were like, "Oh, you're giving up a good job, and you don't know if you're going to get money and blah blah blah." And that was my worries back then. And then obviously I had another business, which was Locos, which was a burrito bar. Yeah. And whenever I went and opened that, I knew nothing about food. Not a thing. I couldn't cook at all. Yeah. But what I had, which was then the law of attraction, was a burning desire. Yeah. So my mom, granny, dad, granddad, uncles, aunties, whoever, would be like, "What are you going to do if you don't get a chef?" I goes, "I'll get a hot grill and I'll learn myself." Yeah. And they were like, "What?" I was like, "I will work in that kitchen to make that successful." Yeah. Because I believe in myself. And they're like, you have no money. They would no one would give me a loan. So I think I could get a loan from anyone. So I had no money. Yeah. And I had to get a loan at $2,000 or something. And I was like, right. So I took out 5 credit cards, all with 1,000 odd each on them. It's like, I'm going to use that to buy the equipment. They're like, "Josh, it's going to cost $30,000 to kit out." I was like, I don't give a fuck. I'm kitting it out. I'm kitting it out for $6,000. Yeah. So
based off of all that, mum telling me I'm going to be unsuccessful, my dad telling me I'm going to be unsuccessful, everyone else telling me, oh, what are you going to do with this? And it's not going to work out. You don't know anything about food and this and that. We opened, and the first day we opened, we turned nearly fucking £5,000 in a day.
That's crazy, isn't it?
In one single
Crazy.
fucking day. We sold out in 3 hours.
It's crazy how powerful your mindset was then, and how you don't think that the doubters are going to come from like the people close to you. You think it's going to be like random people on the
never
street.
is.
It's usually
It
like your
never
mum
is.
or like your mates that you went to school with, or
Never is.
Why do they bring the doubts in?
It's actually, I'd say that strangers are probably your biggest fans. People who don't even know you are probably your biggest fans. Say people who probably watch you from afar, like whether it's your distant cousins or whoever it is, they're probably a bigger fan of you than what your mum and your dad are, and or whoever. Because your mum and your dad and stuff, they care about you so much. They want you to be safe.
Play it safe.
Play it
Stay
safe.
in that comfortable council job.
Yeah.
Maybe get 20 grand a year.
Yeah.
Hopefully not be miserable.
Hopefully
maybe.
not. Hopefully not. Like get yourself in super debt and want to kill yourself.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Because we all end up in the rat race, don't we? We get a mortgage. You're going to be soon to be a daddy. I am a daddy.
Yeah, crazy times.
Crazy times. Fucking
flies in.
Whenever you watch this someday, unnamed female Jory daughter. Your dad's here and it's gonna be in for a ride here, boy.
3 sleepless nights. Let's go. You better appreciate it. So I appreciate my mum.
Yeah, I feel like almost they just want you to play it safe because they care about you and they want you not to be a failure in your own life.
Yeah.
But anything that grows fails.
Yeah.
Look at all the most successful people in the world. They've all failed. They've had shitty acting jobs, or they've had shitty fucking careers, or whatever it is. Everyone usually has a time of failure, whether it's their fucking missus dumped them, they found their wife in bed with their fucking brother, or whatever the fuck it is. Usually it's something. Pain usually drives success.
Yeah.
So I've actually got this a study to talk about here. There's put in a bunch of rats.
You need a why, don't you? You need a
why, but you also
need
you need 1, scarcity and worry, and 2, motivation. So there was a group of rats that they put in a cage, right? And the rats were starved for 6 days, so they're fucking starving. And they put cheese in front of the rats, right at the front, and they had little springs attached to them, and the rats ran and they put lots of force to try and get this cheese.
Yeah.
So they were like, right, okay, so that's their maximum exerted force to get this cheese because they're hungry.
Yeah.
What did they do? They put a cat behind the rats and the cheese in front of them. You know what they found? They ran much faster with the cat behind them.
Let's go.
So what's that tell you? You achieve and you're motivated by fear. Yeah. Fear pushes you to places that you didn't think was possible. So see if you have your foot in the water with your business, for example, for your business, if you only have 1 foot in the water and 1 foot on sand, you need to be fucking up the net, nearly drowning to be successful. Yeah. That's what that analogy tells me, like. And for me personally, that's how, one, I was successful at Logos, because if I wasn't, I was in a shitload of debt, no way to pay for it. With Nook Productions, I had no way to pay my bills, no way to pay my car, and I thought, I will make sure that fucking money comes to me no matter what. I don't care if I have to shovel shit off the ground for 6 weeks. I would rather work for me than work for anyone else.
And so to like regular people then, how does that kind of translate? Because you're thinking to yourself, okay, I've got 1 foot in the water here, 1 foot on the sand, but if I'm drowning, are you worried about the financial stuff? Are you worried about not reaching like your full potential and not doing stuff that you enjoy and spending the majority of your time working? You know,
No,
because you do spend like the majority of your life doing a job, so like you might as well do something that's, you wake up and it makes you creative and it excites you and you have to problem solve.
Yeah.
So it's is it both of those things, or is it like, it probably is a combination of,
you need to love
things.
it. You need, whatever game you're in the rehabilitation game. I'm in the marketing game. If you need to love it, if you don't love it, it doesn't. You love it, doesn't feel like work. If you hate it, like I did with Logos. Yeah. Logos to me at the start, burning desire as a businessman. I love business. I love fucking business. Love breathing it. Love being in it. But Logos developed into me being stuck in the cog of daily operations, and I am not that individual. I know I'm not that
That's
individual.
not where you need to be. Yeah.
I was not. I didn't
Yeah.
enjoy that.
Mhm.
So
It was sorry to interrupt you. It was that was very inspiring what you did, because I remember you saying, "I'm going to open up fucking this Mexican restaurant. I'm going to open up logos." And you were like, right, okay. And then next thing you know, like there's you in the shop, like the signs are up, the wee logo's up, logo crazy, you know,
Yeah.
you're thinking, wait, it's crazy. So,
yeah,
and then next thing you know, you're serving these top quality burritos. I'm like, finally, this town has actually fresh food, you know, nothing's deep, because I don't like deep fried and inflammatory foods and all. So
Yeah.
you're thinking, right, okay, this stuff's fresh. He's just got that burn desire and he's done it. So it was brilliant, like watching you do it, and it did spark inspiration, like in a lot of people. And
I mean, we turned just under £1 million, but we're in a, just so the listeners and viewers have a bit of context with that, we're in a very bad environment in hospitality. Hospitality is holding on by a thread, and I had to cut that business because that business was becoming break even to unprofitable. And if you have an unprofitable to break even business that you don't love and work in every day, because with logos, I love the business.
Yeah.
I didn't love the operations.
yeah,
And in that world, I need to be an operations manager every day of the week.
do you think if you had sort of like, because I know you struggled with reliable staff and
Yeah.
things, like, do you reckon if you had sort of that good work, that good team in there, like reliable staff, that you could have maybe enjoyed the more operational side of things, or do you reckon you would have cut it altogether whenever you seen sort of the breaking even side of things?
I think if it ran on its own, I would have left it,
Yeah.
because I would have been able to run, for example, a Tiernan Media was born during that period. I would have been able to run a Tiernan Media, and I wouldn't need to worry about income.
Yeah.
But keeping the business alive, because there was 15 jobs involved with that place. I would have loved for every single one of them to keep a job. But when something becomes unprofitable, I either have to prop it up with my own personal money, or you need to make cuts. Was I willing to cut quality? No. What was the cut? There was either a cut staff, cut service, or cut the quality of food.
Yeah.
So I wasn't willing to make them choices, and it was a high level of stress to me, because I just had a baby, and as soon as something becomes unprofitable and I don't see myself giving my all, it was just cut off, because me personally, I believe money is fugazi. It's fugazi. It does not exist. Money is this thing that is digitally put into your bank that you can lift out as a piece of plastic and give to someone else.
And just print it on a wee note.
If you bankrupt yourself, now we're young, but I think we're still young. We're 27. If I bankrupt myself today, I'm 27 years of age. 7 years from now, when I'm 34, I am now back on a clean slate. So you tell me why the fuck I should be worried about money?
Yeah.
There's no need to worry about stuff like that.
Isn't it? Your 20s
If
is
you're
a good time
if you're
to make mistakes,
65 and you're worried about leaving your estate to your family, you can worry about that stuff. But when you're young, take big risks. Because what's the worst that can happen? People can laugh at you and the lone men will come round. But we're in this little paradise in Northern Ireland where there's no bailiffs, so they can't take any of your possessions.
I don't think Kurt's feeling young in the corner there. He's got sore knees or something.
Oh, Kurt's dead.
Oh, why we're rapidly aging over here.
Kurt's dead. Kurt's dead in the corner. Kurt's dead in the corner. Right, let me get another question for you here.
But no, it's powerful stuff, like, and definitely the Josh from a couple of years ago probably didn't see himself owning a restaurant, like, you know. It's pretty crazy.
But that just goes to show you that whenever we spoke earlier about the law of attraction and anything's possible, anything is possible. I mean, the light is shining us right now. These cameras that are pointing at us right now, these things weren't possible, 200 years ago, 300 years ago, whatever it was, until obviously the light was invented with Thomas Edison, etc., etc. All these things were never possible until someone goes, you know what? I think that's kind of possible.
I think it's a bit dark in here. I should, invent something. I'm trying to read late at night.
Literally, boys are sitting there with a soot over their hands from the candles going, you know what? There's something better out here than this. So, another question here for you. Do you have any personal hobbies or interests outside of your professional life that you like to share with the audience?
Not telling you anything. It's my personal life. No, just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding. Yeah. I've always been like I like reading. I like philosophy, stuff like that there. So I'm into that there. I like to look into different philosophies, ways of living, lots of yoga, meditation, stuff like that there. It keeps me sort of centered
Mm-hmm.
a wee bit because, you know, everyone's trying to grab your attention these days and there's a lot going on. It's a fast developing world. So I feel like having these practices like yoga, meditation, a little bit of jiu-jitsu and stuff as well, it brings you into like the present moment
Mm-hmm.
a little bit more where you're not really in your head trying to problem solve, because you have to sort of differentiate where you're kind of like, okay, I'm problem solving for my business now, but I want to be able to take myself away from that and be like, okay, no, I'm walking on the beach and I'm hanging out and I'm with my girlfriend or I'm with my family.
Yeah.
So you want to try and use tools like that to sort of bring you off into the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I find that like yoga, meditation, it's a nice easy way to do that. It sort of teaches yourself, even if you're going for like a hard day at work or something, where you can actually use those tools that you've learned and incorporate them sort of day-to-day life.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
I mean, I definitely think that breathe. So I've tried a couple of breathing techniques.
Yeah.
Not so much yoga. I haven't tried it, so I can't mention it.
Yeah.
But breathing techniques, even whenever I'm very, very stressed, if I just go out and I breathe,
Mm-hmm.
like there was a fellow I watched recently, he talked about breathing in through the nose. So
Yeah.
and then when you're right at lung capacity, just go.
Get that little bit of extra air in. Yeah. Yeah.
And he says the little sacs inside your lungs
Yeah.
that don't usually get used in that last little, and
Yeah.
your exhaling and your cortisol levels just go.
It's crazy how easily you can change your heart rate,
Manipulate your body.
From just inhale, exhale. There's a practice I like to do. It's a little bit similar where I'm taking massive inhalations in and I'm dilating the nostrils here and I'm going
Is this
in.
Guinness?
It's Guinness, yeah. It's extra stout though, so it's like it's a little bit fizzier. It's not draft.
Yeah, I felt the taste is kind of different there.
Yeah.
Tastes like normal beer.
Not into it, no.
I don't mind it. I'm not a big Guinness guy,
Dark and lively.
but that was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, one of the things I can do is sort of I'll count my inhalations. So I'll maybe try to inhale for say 5 seconds, hold my breath for maybe 6 seconds, and then exhale for 7 seconds.
Mhm.
And I'm trying to sort of breathe diaphragmatically.
Mhm.
So instead of, because I noticed there, whenever you breathed in, you kind of went from your chest.
Yeah.
So if you kind of put your hand on your belly and you want to be like Fat Buddha, and you want to extend like from your stomach.
Right.
Yeah, so it kind of takes the pressure off the musculature up here as well, and that short breathing, so you can really get them longer.
Is that the best way to breathe
That's the
for your
best way to
belly?
do it. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, the static
Yeah.
world wasn't like that.
Yeah.
Can't be breathing for your belly.
I know you can't really be on the beach if you're a yoga influencer and your belly's going out and
No,
in.
can't be having it.
That's, yeah. But you have to do it.
I actually think
Not everything's going to look sexy and pretty, you know?
Yeah,
You have
true.
to just, if you want to get them long inhalations in.
I think what the way Wim Hof does it through the belly whenever I watch them.
You've probably, yeah, you
Yeah,
probably.
he does it like from the belly. He brings it in from there.
It's a game changer. It's you can actually use that as well for people that have like neck pain and lower back pain. I worked with this girl before. She was stressed out. She had a couple of kids running around and she was complaining of problems here in this muscle, this SCM here.
Yeah.
And I was assessing her, and this muscle was like a top band. It was so tight.
Uh-huh.
So I was like, there's not really much we can do here right now. So I was like, I'm going to teach you how to breathe. So I got her to lay down, flat on her back, put her hands on her belly, and got her to do massive diaphragmatic breaths in and out. And then whenever she learned not to tense from this and breathe properly when things were stressing her out, that took away her neck pain.
Yeah.
So it can be as simple as that. So it can. The breath's a powerful tool. Breath is a powerful tool.
My goodness, I feel like I'm learning here. I'm gonna be like sitting here tomorrow going,
Keep an eye on it. Like
I'm a 7-figure here, man.
Just keep an eye on it. Like make sure your chest isn't rising first. Put
Right.
a nice sort of bit of feedback is just put your hand on your belly.
Yeah.
You're not going to look pretty doing it, but just lie flat on your back and let the diaphragm lift your hands up and down.
Yeah.
It's the best way to do it. And you'll find that like over time, like anything, your breaths will get longer, your inhalations will get longer, your exhalations will get longer, and then that'll sort of calm the cortisol levels down.
Yeah.
But it's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough. I remember working with someone one time and I was like, I'm going to teach you how to breathe today. And he was like, I know how to breathe. And I was like, right, we'll see.
Right.
We'll see. Got to teach them got them to do the inhalations, and they were terrible at it. So it takes practice.
Look here, Sonny Jim. I know a thing or two, so you listen up because I'm about to teach how to
Just breathe. Just
from
breathe.
the belly. From the belly, my man.
Fat Buddha style. Let's
Fat
go.
Buddha style. So what's the best way for our listeners to connect with you and learn more about sports rehabilitation and your business?
Connecting with me. My website's up there. Got a lot of good information on there. It's nicely laid out, thanks to yourself. You know, it's looking pristine.
It's here in the media. Check it out.
The website, it's up there. You can email me. I do post a lot on my social media. I try to keep it.
It's dead.
No.
Did literally just come out there.
Grab the other battery out of the kitchen. Georgia,
Yeah, this is.
can you bring the other battery that's charging there? Sorry, everyone. Sorry.
That's why I'm sure you can edit it out.
This was way better than our first podcast.
Oh, way better.
Remember me and you and Jamie. I think Harry was there too.
Yeah, it
We
was.
did in this barber shop.
Yeah, but that was just shit talking. This is more.
This is
People
far
are
better.
gaining a lot more knowledge.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you give me a wee battery? Can you give it to
This
Curtis? Sir?
is-
Or
this is
Curtis,
far
see the
better.
pot. See, guys, just take. Sorry, I'll. Is it? It's Georgie. You've put the fucking radio on
That's-
radiator on, babe.
My palms are sweating. Knees weak, arms are heavy. This from
Yes, look at the fucking radio.
Get the contrast out. Ooh.
Are you still going?
We're just about to finish off.
Ooh.
Alright, I don't know how to do a battery change, mate. I'll do a magazine change, like.
Do a magazine change. George,
How your career has took a turn, eh, Kurt?
Aye, fucking roller coaster, like.
How George is telling me about the beetroot face.
Where are you sitting?
No. Sports rehabilitation is my undergrad. Yeah.
You know we're rolling right now, so this will be in the podcast.
What have you been doing? Nothing.
That's the problem.
That is the problem.
Oh, crap.
It's my daily life.
Are we in frame here, bro?
I'll let you know, mate.
Georgia tells me in beetroot while cranking the fucking radiators up, and I'm drinking.
Just try and make it look bad.
On the ground, passed out. Josh, you're passed out.
Kurt, they look all right. At least all right.
I just look like you got a bit of tan.
That's what she's talking about. She doesn't know what the camera looks like. For goodness sake.
It'll be all good. Don't listen to her. Don't let her bring you down.
Let's see, you folks.
I only love her, like, but you know,
That's how they get us.
that's how they get you.
Yeah, trick you.
Yin and yang. They call you beetroot and then expect to be kissed.
That's it.
We are two different species, the man and the woman, aren't they? But that is how to do it.
For the people at home listening, she came through the door there and gave me a look. You know what look I'm talking about, guys.
Look.
Right.
Is that going to beat you up whenever no one else is around?
Can you share an inspiring success story from one of your clients?
From one of my clients?
From one of your clients.
Yeah, that'll be perfect. I'll do a most recent one. I'm not sure her names or anything because he might not want to be
Yeah,
mentioned
yeah.
because it's personal stuff. I was working with a gentleman there, and he does triathletes, and his plan was to swim across Belfast Lough.
Mm.
I'm not too sure how many miles that is, but from standing on Carrick Beach looking over the Donegal
Sounds
Banker,
like a lot.
it looks like a lot. I don't
Yeah.
think you could just do it without any training. So he had booked this date in, I think he's doing it in June, and he's having a lot of shoulder trouble. He had booked it. He wasn't doing any training because of shoulder. He had cortisone injections, bursitis, inflammation in his shoulders. He was really, really struggling. He didn't really know where to go with it.
Mm.
He came down to see me, and I was basically just like, well, we need to strengthen you back up. We need to get this shoulder moving again. So what I've done basically is give him simple drills
Mhm.
to really mobilize his shoulder, help him get his tolerance back, his strength back. Whenever I was working with him, he had to swim a couple of months' time, and he hadn't even stepped foot in the pool yet. He wasn't
Wow.
even training for it, but he booked a date. So I was like, let's get in the pool and
Yeah.
get a couple of K under your belt just in case. So
Uh-huh.
we started building him back up. I had confidence that where he was mid-stage, and I was like, right, get back in the pool this week, and we'll see how many K you can do. Got back into the pool. He's swimming, no problem.
Mm.
We hasn't finished the swim just yet because it is in June time, but
Yeah.
we're working towards it. We're working towards it. So that's me and him are just kind of working together at the minute. And I think he's doing maybe like 6-7K in the pool at the minute. It is a work in progress,
Yeah.
but from 6 months before that, where he was doing absolutely nothing,
Yeah.
and he actually showed me a Strava, which was pretty interesting.
That's a running thing, isn't it?
Strava's like Facebook for like runners and cyclists, and
Right, okay.
yeah, they do like so you log basically your runs and your cycles, and then other people can go and they can see, okay, he's done this route, this is the route I'll follow.
Yeah.
And his Strava had increased 400% from 6 months ago. So he's back, he's doing the swims, and we're going to get him across the lock. So yeah, that's probably the most interesting case at the minute.
My guy.
Inspiring story.
Killing
Yeah,
it. He's killing it, guys.
And it was simple interventions. So it was.
Well, here, I mean, a 400% increase doesn't sound simple to me.
Yeah. Well,
Give me a 400% increase in the gym. I walk around here like, oh,
I know, true.
be walking through this house and George get through across the wall.
Bench pressed of 1 hour.
I'd be like fucking Super Saiyan, just the chest. Like, ah. Right, okay. How do you see your world evolving, and how do you stay up to date with the most relevant information? Because I know that you do look at studies, very, very recent studies, to try and get the most recent information, because we are in a world that constantly changes.
Yeah.
You know, in 1 minute, like I spoke to you earlier in the gym, 1 minute everyone's taking steroids, next minute they're all taking SARMs.
Yeah.
Like back when we were 18, 19, we only knew steroids existed.
Yeah.
Now there's these SARMs and all these different mad shit that people can take to improve their performance.
Yeah.
So how do you stay up to date with all these the emerging techniques in your world?
It's kind of tough because people always ask me like, "Oh, did you see the news recently? Or did you see this story? You see that story?" And I'm just like, "No,
Yeah.
no,
Negative.
that's not really what I watch." If I'm at home in the evening, I'm usually reading on, say, like PubMed, which is like it's like a scientific journal, or like British Journal of Sport Medicine or something like that. That's just kind of my go-to. Or I have podcasts that I kind of watch for leisure, but those are what I stick to. Or I have a wee subscription for Physio Network, which is interesting, which they kind of do infographics of all these recent studies and things, and they send you an email subscription, and you basically go through that and read this new intervention about lower back pain or neck pain.
Yeah.
So you just have to kind of keep up to date with things.
Yeah.
And it's up to you really, because you graduated 10, 20 years ago and things are updating all the time, and you just have to take time out of your day to go see what new articles trending, what new scientific journal is trending. You can do that through PubMed or ResearchGate, where if you find really interesting authors on a certain subject, you can follow them, and then if they put any new scientific studies out there, you can get in there and read that. You know, it's the best way to do it. And you have to kind of be a weirdo as well, because you were saying to me earlier on, "Oh, have you seen this guy on YouTube? Or have you seen this guy on YouTube?" And I was like, no.
Yeah.
No, I just kind of like stick to my thing.
But that's what you should do.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I mean, like, I see the brain as almost like a hard drive. You fill it up with so much random shit that's not going to serve you.
Yeah.
You're kind of like, I can't remember the valuable shit that I'm super concentrated on. So I myself, like, on this laptop here, I've cut out Facebook, and I've cut out a couple other social medias that have feeds. Instagram, sorry. So Facebook and Instagram, because they have feeds. So I've cut them out on this, because what I found is when I went in them feeds,
draws your attention.
Fucking, you know, wee Cardi down the street there's having a meltdown fucking fight with her neighbour, and and then I'm going through fucking looking at profiles and
comments and all.
And then
who said what?
10 minutes later I'm going, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah, yeah.
And then click off it, and I was like, that was a waste of my life.
Yeah.
So I tried to cut that out. But right, I'm gonna go personal for a couple of questions, just because you have your own personal journey.
Just gonna cut deep.
So
couple of Guinness in, it's probably
couple of Guinness in.
See, for us men, we can't open up unless we've had a couple of beers.
That here.
So it's perfect.
That's the gateway drug.
Yeah, it is. I read this book a few years ago called Who Stole My Spear? And it's about just like the modern day man and how important the pub is, the modern day man, for like social connections, because we can't hug each other or tell each other we love each other unless we've had a couple of pints in us to take away them barriers.
Yeah, especially
so ask away.
Especially in Northern Ireland and Ireland, I think we're very reserved over here.
We don't you don't touch that much. You
No.
get the odd fist pump
Yeah, but
or
don't.
the old handshake, you know.
Yeah. Well, it's either it's that one or it's that one right there.
Yeah.
But I mean, in America, for example, they're very much like, "Oh, I love you, bro," and very. Because I was just there recently, it was a lot more touchy feely and expressive than what we are, and I thought I was jarred about it. I was like, "Yo, fucking chill out there. I only met you."
You're like doing that awkward hug where you don't really know where you're supposed to go.
Right. So anyway, the personal questions I want to ask is, so you yourself come from a family of a single mum, and you've grown up with a family of your mum basically being a mum and a dad.
Yeah.
You've had 2
100%.
younger sisters, both of which the dad's not in the house. How have you went through life and dealt with some of the problems that's occurred personally and professionally with, you know, obviously going into Biomech and how that affects your mood and basically you feeling like a father figure in your own house? How have you dealt with this?
Yeah, it's a good question. Growing up, it was always like there was no man of the house.
Yeah.
There was always like I don't want to do my mum dirty here, but there was always different. She was maybe dating different individuals. They were coming into the home, so you didn't really know who to be inspired by or who to look up to. So I was just kind of like teaching myself like how to be a man throughout this sort of journey.
Yeah.
Where I was like, oh, here I like aspects of his character.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like that.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't really like them aspects.
Yeah.
He doesn't really have any good manners.
Yeah.
Just taking different aspects of people's personality. I still do that today, actually.
Yeah.
If I see a certain person that I looked up to or I'm inspired to, I'll be like, I like how you done that. I'll maybe do that. If someone invites you around to their house and like you're an actual guest, or just how they treat you day to day. So I've just sort of taught myself.
Yeah.
Throughout the years, it was hard. I think that's kind of why I was such an angry teenager growing up. I think I was a wee bit frustrated.
Yeah.
But you have to just turn that frustration and focus your mind on certain things. You use that kind of energy and put it into different aspects of your life.
Yeah.
You know, if you're feeling angry and pent up, you know, use that productively if you can. It does take some time to hone in that skill. And then what was the other aspect? There was a couple of sort of questions in there.
Well, it was just basically how did you cope? Because I don't have any experience in this world, and if I'm overstepping my mark, you just let me know.
Yeah.
But me personally, there's only certain things that only another man understands.
Yeah.
And you not having that father figure around you, and obviously with your little sisters not having like that person in the scene of the house.
Yeah.
It being like almost like you feel like all this weight in your shoulders to grow up very, very fast.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you're saying about other men and stuff like that, giving you almost, for me, it would give me a complex because I don't like that kind of thought.
Yeah.
And it makes you feel a certain way.
Yeah.
So just how did you deal with all that?
I was quite lucky as well because you grow up fast, but you enjoy looking after, like, and keeping an eye on your younger sisters.
Yeah.
I remember taking wee Lainey to school and holding her hand, and just I loved it. Taking her to school in the morning, wee things like that. There, just sort of looking after them. And you don't really know anything else. That's kind of just your life. You just sort of get on with it.
Yeah.
And it has good aspects of it too, because I'm more empathetic towards. I can talk to the women, no problem. I've grew up in a house full of women. 2 sisters and a mum. I know it's easy to people are like, women are hard to talk to. Women are, you know, men and women, we're different species. It's hard to navigate sometimes, but sometimes I can feel more comfortable talking to a woman because I've grew up with a house full of women.
Yeah.
You know, so I feel like there's been positives in that aspect too. You know, let's say there's a 50-year-old woman who comes to see me about her hip pain. You know, I find it really easy to empathise with her in terms of like how she's run their household and the stress and the drama that she's under. So it's great in that aspect too.
Do you feel like you need to almost emotionally lock yourself away though, whenever it comes to I need to be the person that's strong, I need to be the person that can't be shown weakness, I need to be essentially who your little sisters look up to?
Yeah, maybe when I was growing up, yeah, but I feel like that's a thing that a lot of men do emotionally. Yeah. It's try to hide away, and then if you bury those emotions, they will come out. They'll come back to bite you. Yeah. It's almost like Pandora's box in that type of way.
Yeah.
So you have to just I've only realized this recently. If you're feeling a certain feeling or emotion, you have to address it there and then.
Yeah.
You have to observe it, accept it, and figure out why am I feeling like this,
Yeah.
and then go from there and problem solve, rather than just bury it. Because if you bury it, you're going to be in a lot of trouble because it'll come back. It'll come back, and I've almost discovered that sometimes in like deep forms of meditation, like doing this. I used to do sensory deprivation tanks once a week.
Yeah.
And there was things that would come up like from like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Where I was angry at this one person for maybe speaking to someone in my family a certain way, or maybe from like a silly comment about me, and I'm like, I should have fucking addressed that. Yeah. So I think you have to address things there and then. Yeah. I don't know if that answers your question or not. In a roundabout, nah, probably not.
Maybe in a roundabout way. I just again.
Do you maybe just think that I was kind of trying to take on this kind of like
I knew you as a teenager.
Yeah.
You were very angry.
Angry wee man.
You had zero temperament.
Yeah.
And you were quick to snap. Mm-hmm. And then whenever you got drunk, you would speak about certain things. When we were kids.
Yeah.
And it made me feel like when you spoke about, the fact that your mum was doing certain things you didn't agree with, and you just weren't no father figure. And then recently you told me obviously you wanted nothing to do with you most of your life.
Yeah. How
did you think about things like that? You ever thought about things like that? Is it nothing that came to you, not come to your mind, or? Because there's people out there who is in that position right now who are not 27 years of age, who are 14 years of age, and they're and they're sitting in their mum's fucking spare room, and they're in a bad place.
True.
What guidance can you give them based off of where you came from?
That's probably a better way, because probably a better way to go about things. Because whenever you're that teenager, you are just so angry. You're angry at the world. You're so frustrated, and you can't really figure out why. I would say, just get a focus, get an obsession, a positive obsession, a good focus, and just dive into things that way. That's how you kind of distract yourself, because you can't change those things. Yeah. That's just a card you're dealt.
100%.
You have to just go with that. You just have to go with the flow, or flow with the go, whatever way you want to word it. And just find obsessions, find focus that make you feel good in that sense. And that's all I did, really. That's all I did. Just kept it really simple. I still get angry now, but then I just know, okay, I need to take myself off. Yeah. I need to take myself off for a couple of hours, get my headspace right, journal, work out, whatever it is.
Do you mean angry in general?
Angry at the... yeah.
Yeah.
Because we're meant to be hunter-gatherers. We're meant to be...
Yeah. I agree with that. Yeah. I feel like men sometimes can be in a certain environment where your temperament's very, very easily shattered, and then you do need to take yourself away. But no one wants a weak man. You want a man that, if someone came and spat in your woman's face, you would just, whether you get beat up or not, you would protect them.
You have to stand up. Yeah, you have to stand up for your tribe there and then, because that's one of those things as well. If you don't stand up for your tribe there and then, it will come back.
Yeah,
it will come back.
So do you think, based off of obviously coming up in a single mother house, you now being a father means even more that no matter what happens in life, that you'll be a dad? You feel like that almost weighs on you a little bit?
Yeah, it's because I've never had that relationship with my dad, so I'm like, what is this relationship? What's it going to be like? Mm-hmm. So I was like, it's going to be very strange for me. Mm-hmm. I never thought like, what's this actually going to be like? What's it going to be like to be a dad? Because I've never seen it up close. Yeah. I was really close to my uncles and stuff growing up. Big family, big traditional family. Yeah. And they were kind of like father figures with me, but you'd maybe see them a couple of times a week. They wouldn't be every day in your household. So it's going to be interesting. I'm going to have to make sure as well not to be overbearing and not to spoil the wee girl as well. That's another thing that I'm going to have to watch out for, because I'll be trying to overcompensate as well. I'll get you everything you want. I didn't have this as a kid. You can have it. So I'm going to have to kind of be like, get the journal and be like, do not spoil child.
Make sure it has the essentials.
Yeah. But it's character building. If you're a young man out there and you're a wee bit unsure and you're angry and you're frustrated, it's okay. It's okay to feel these emotions, because it's like going way back to the start of the podcast where I was saying it's like pain is like a message to your body. Mm-hmm. So is that anger. So is that frustration. You're angry about something. Yeah. Okay. don't take it out on the people around you or the people that you love. You know, use that energy for something else. You know,
Yeah.
hit the gym, get into like a certain subject that you're passionate about. You know,
Yeah.
pull the laptop up
Use
and
it as
start reading.
motivation.
Don't be going on ranting about political issues or like just use it as motivation. Keep it simple,
100%.
like that there. Don't let it eat you up inside. Use that energy for something good.
Yeah,
You know?
100%.
That's it's simple, and that's all I've done over the years.
Yeah, I feel like some people, maybe more females and males, but I feel like coming from a single parent household can really affect children, and obviously you came from that world and you've turned out very well. So
Thank you
I
very
just
much.
wanted to give that guidance to anyone who's in that world.
Yeah.
And if you're saying use that pain that comes from that kind of feeling
Yeah,
and push it into something that you're passionate about
yeah,
and it'll bear fruit, I
Mhm.
think that's the best advice you can give.
yeah.
But that is going to be the end of our podcast.
Awesome.
Jory, where can the people get you?
Check out my website, social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook. I'm usually posting on Instagram and Facebook quite a lot. If you want to send me a message about anything that you've heard today, if you have any questions about like injuries, any questions about just growing up with a single parent family, just give me a shout and we'll chat away and put it all on the table.
100%.
You know?
Cheers.
Thank you, sir.
This is the first podcast.
Awesome.